All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the session today. I don't have a camera because my camera has decided to poop out. So instead, you get to see my lovely portrait, and I hope that doesn't bother too many people. I know it's not ideal, but my camera just isn't working today. So yeah, you see the lovely portrait that was painted by Timothy Bishop. Before we hop into the session, I want to start off with an announcement that many of you have probably heard.
Or red.
So we will be. So yeah, so Lydia and I are combining the tabletop RPG elements of our two streams into a channel known as. It's going to be called Homebrew Hall, which you can see the logo for it to the right of my portrait. So yeah, that will be a combined tabletop RPG channel. We're super excited about. It'll have Ready to Roll will be moving there. It'll be its new home. It'll still be the same old Ready to Roll. However, it'll just be on a new channel, and we'll also have other shows that will be joining our roster eventually. Lydia will be continuing her painting streams. We are overall very, very, very excited about it. And yeah, we'll keep you all notified as to what else is coming. So it should be a lot of fun. Wow, just watching the stream, I look like I probably just sound like an ominous voice in the sky, but
ominous might be an overstatement.
Yeah. So
just wait, it'll get worse.
Yeah.
It will get ominous.
But anyway, here we go. I'm gonna get started. It's with a recap of last session given to us by Adam.
Need to prepare my narrator voice. Last week on Ready to Roll, the party was having suspicions about people taking care of Vitaly, Zhelanya's brother. While interrogating the false priest Prestov, it became clear that Vitaly was central to the next sacrifice. Quickly going to check on Vitaly, they discovered he had been taken. Prestov revealed there was a secret area in the family mausoleum. Heading down, they found themselves face to face with Svet, who was a priestess of the Dark One. Zhelanya tried to persuade her sister to abandon her dark beliefs, but to no avail. Artyom dealt the killing blow in the ensuing battle, and unwittingly completed the sacrifice of sight.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's where we'll pick up right where we left off. So you're all coming out of the long tunnel. So you're coming out of that long tunnel. Corvette, you're carrying Vitaly, and Zhelanya, you are carrying Sveta's body. Vitaly's still unconscious. You're not sure how long that will continue. You just know that it is a thing. So yeah, that's where we'll pick up.
All right. Well, I start just heading towards Vitaly's rooms, I would assume, and also looking for the steward. Forgot his name. Hold on. Nitsya.
Yep.
So, just to check up on him and grab any doctor, or I don't know if I trust a priest right now, but anyone who Nitsya would trust to take care of him.
Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. Awesome. Sounds good. Is anyone going with him or anything? Who's going with him, or the rest of you sticking around with Zhelanya?
Piotr will go with him.
Okay. So Piotr heads off with Corvette. Okay. So just the tunnel does come out in the family mausoleum. So, all right.
Yeah. Because burying her is not the right word because it's not like a hole in the ground. Are there like pre-prepared like stone crypts or anything, or are they like plinths? What is the situation like down here?
Under normal circumstances, there would not be a pre-prepared, coffin or anything, except it seems like Sveta did not expect to make it out of what was going on downstairs alive, and so there actually is a prepared coffin for her.
Okay, and I'm gonna carry her over and kind of lay her down there.
All right, cool. Is that all you're gonna do with it, or you want to do anything else? Or?
I'm just gonna stand there for a little while by myself.
Okay. Sounds good.
Just look at her.
All right. Okay, so Corvin and Piotr, does not take you long to find Mitya. He is coming towards the mausoleum with a contingent of guards in tow. He sees Vitali and immediately rushes over to him and says, "What happened? What happened down there?"
He's fine. He's fine.
He's fine.
He needs to be taken.
Look at his
He's
eyes.
alive. He's alive. I totally blanked on that part. He lost his eyes. He's alive. I want to say he's alive. He's alive. Let's face one important feature right there. It was Svetla and the profane guard. She didn't make it. Neither did they, but they don't matter. But we need to take care of him. We need to make sure he's okay. He still needs attention to make sure he's stable.
Of course. Let's get into his rooms.
His chambers.
His chambers.
Do you know a doctor or physician that you trust implicitly?
Unfortunately, not anymore. The one that I would trust the most would be your priest friend Artyom.
Not anymore.
Would have said Brother Prestov.
No. He was.
Is there anyone like just kind of in the contact web of Piotr that he could reach out to, like send for potentially?
Certainly.
But I guess
your contacts would all be over in Vinhelm, so that would be like 2 or 3 months of waiting for someone to arrive.
Rip. My sense
Unless
of
they know, like,
geography in this
teleportation
world
circle
is
stuff.
poor. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There's Artyom, of course.
Well, we'll go fetch him. Let's take Vitali to his room though, and then we'll go fetch Artyom.
Certainly.
Yes, certainly.
Fetch me.
I assume
I'm at the group.
Well, we went on ahead out of the mausoleum. I had presumed. We're like outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
We're in the grass next to the
Um,
mausoleum.
So Corva and Piotr, you deposit Vitali with the guards who take him to his chambers, and you turn around to go get Artyom, and you observe everyone kind of solemnly standing as Jelania has deposited her sister's body in this sarcophagus that was awaiting her.
Piotr is gonna put his arm on Corbett's shoulder. You talk to Artyom. I think I'm gonna hang around with the rest of our friends for a bit.
Okay. Hey, Artyom. Nah. I walk up to Artyom. Give him a nudge. Do you when you're done here, will you? You're the best healer here that anyone trusts. Do you mind making sure Vitaly's all right?
I can take a look at him, but being all right is probably not something he'll ever experience again.
That is true.
Let's be fair. I probably can't restore eyes.
Will you at least make sure that he's physically, apart from his eyes, gonna make it?
Something I can do.
If the healing we gave him was enough, I'm not exactly trained.
Yeah. Yes, I'll take a look.
Thank you.
All right.
We're turning back towards what everyone else is doing.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Piotr walks up to Anya.
I'm just kind of standing there, like right next to Sveta, like one hand kind of still on her arm, just looking down.
I know it might be a bit soon to talk about all this for you, but I just wanted you to know that I know what it feels like to lose someone in a situation like this. And if you need anyone to talk to, you know where to find me.
Thank you. I mean, it's been 3 years. There was always a chance that they would be dead, all of them. Just not nice to have it happen over again.
I can imagine. I mean, I guess I've never experienced the whiplash that I'm sure you're going through, but I'm sorry. This is an awful thing to come home to.
You're not wrong. I'm sure this will be very damaging and I'll have to deal with it, just not right now.
Of course, I understand. Well, I'm here, and the rest of us are too. So, reach out. We'll be around.
All right.
Piotr takes his leave.
So Drift is going to reach into his bag and pull out some of the plants that he's been collecting, the ones that can bloom. Because Drift just collects plants along the way, and he's gonna go up to Anya. He's gonna show her some of these plants that are kind of withered and old a bit. He says, I don't know what you're going through, but I want to help. And I will do anything for you. And anyway, I thought that, she looked better with some of these in here with her. And he casts Druidcraft, and he makes these kind of old withered plants bloom and blossom. He puts them in the coffin next to Svedla. And he looks at her, looks at Anya, and smiles and says, and I promise that you'll get through this. And I know with a little bit of Frith magic that you'll be able to blossom to. He smiles and puts a hand on your shoulder and just walks away. There.
Before he walks away, I just kind of ask, how do you do it?
Do it?
When I first met you, I thought you were a sheltered, innocent idiot that, walks through life not seeing anything or, feeling anything. But I've heard the things you've said. I've heard you talk about the pain that you felt and, that your stepfather would light you on fire to separate you from people who wanted to be close to you. That's awful. So how do you be as happy as you are?
Well, really, there are times, after my stepdad would do something, without my mom looking, he'd, cast produced flame on me or something, or do anything else, and I just go and do it alone. I would sit by a special spot, stream nearby, and I just sit by myself and listen to the birds and listen to the stream and see a fish pop up, and I don't know, it always helped me feel peace. It reminded me that no matter what, that stream is going to keep going. That even though I'm going to have these hard times, they're not going to last forever. And I always had my mom around who loved me, who wanted the best for me, and when you did meet me, I wasn't an idiot in a lot of ways. I didn't know much about the world, and I still don't. You know more than I do, but by meeting all of you and seeing how strong you are, and by helping you, I've been able to see that I'm going to get better. I'm going to get stronger. And I am worthy of being loved. So, anyway, I don't know how much of this to your situation, but what I do know is that this is really hard. It's okay. You can let it be hard. But it's not going to last forever. And you have really good people who will always be by your side. We're not going to let you go. So, anyway, I know that we all love you. And we'll be the family that you lost.
Thank you. I want to get a piece of her horn if I can. I don't know how much she was beat up or damaged in the fight. If there's
Sure.
pieces of her horn that I could grab.
There is definitely pieces of her horn that can be grabbed.
Okay.
You can. I imagine you probably want the thinnest part near the. I mean, on her it
Yeah.
would be the bottom since her horn's kind of curled around rather than yours going straight back. But
Should give it to Katyak and let him turn it into a drinking horn.
oh,
Not so much.
yeah. So if you want, yeah, you can get an inch or two of her horn.
Okay. Yeah. I'll write that in my book.
You're now carrying around an inch or two of your sister's horn. All right. Okay. So did anyone accompany Artyom to go see Vitaly, or is Artyom going off by himself?
Guess I'll die.
Katyak would have gone.
Okay. Katyak is gone with Artyom. Okay. So
Corvette would visit later in a couple hours or so.
all right. Okay. So Artyom, you make your way through the you make your way through the castle with Kadiak in tow, and eventually find your way to the find your way to Vitali's rooms. You enter in and you see that Vitali has been laid on his bed. He's been changed into some clean clothing. He looks like he's been washed, he's been washed so that way he has, at least the blood has been taken, off his face and the rest of his body. He's been put into some clean night clothes, and he's just resting peacefully on the bed. You can give me a medicine check to determine his state of being.
I mean,
Kadiak would help with that as well.
he's not dead.
Well, yeah, but is he gonna wake up soon? Things like that.
Mostly dead. 22.
22. Okay.
Nice.
All right. You do have advantage because Kadiak's helping you, but I don't think you really need it.
Yes, because otherwise it would have been 11.
So, it looks like at this point his body is just mostly resting from the trauma that he's received. You figure that after a night's rest, maybe a little bit longer, he'll be up and about and moving. But at this point, it's just a matter of letting him sleep.
That's some pretty intense healing spells we used on him.
Was.
It was.
I've often wished that I'd be able to use magic for healing, if nothing else, but I could do with what I can find in the forest, and I could do with the training that I have.
Thing I've noticed about magical healing, I say as I stand up and kind of stretch, is that there is your body deals better with the healing process and the trauma when it's left to go by itself, which is why I don't cast a healing spell on every little tiny injury. Now, granted, when you're trying to keep somebody alive and you're not able to have a team of experienced, those experienced in the ways of healing together, then sometimes healing magic is what you need. But while he may be up and about in a day or two, the internal struggles will last a lot longer. Not to mention the fact that he can't see anymore.
That will be a very difficult task for him, but imagine that you know all about that. I'm assuming that we aren't alone in the room. So Keg is playing off the fact that he thinks that our team is blind. But I imagine you would be able to help him.
I wouldn't know. I've never been able to see anything.
You can help him learn this way in his new world.
One foot in front of the other, and watch out for doors and bedposts. Your little toes are just drawn to bedposts.
Would make sense, yes. That's why I sleep on the ground. But, Patrick, he's gonna, could I use my herbalism kit knowledge to make a sort of either poultice or paste or drink or candle or something to help
ingredients?
Assume that there are some ingredients still in the room from when Brother Prestov was making the medicine.
Yeah, except you are aware that those ingredients were what was poisoning him in the first place.
Well,
And
yes,
causing his headaches and stuff.
Are all of the ingredients poison, or are they messed with, or are they just
Give me a medicine check to
ingredients
see
made
if you
from?
can identify anything that could be used.
Medicine, not nature, right?
Medicine, not nature. Yep.
That'd be 15.
Okay. You don't think that there could be. You do remember that these were all used for mind clarity. None of these were really used for healing, or at least it's the
Body.
healing or resting quicker or anything like that. So nothing here could really be used for the type of thing you're looking for.
Okay, that's fair.
So.
In that case, Kadiak will hum a song of his people to try and wish him rest from the elders.
All right. Well, is there anything else that anyone wants to do before they head to rest tonight?
Drith would like to summon Alistair, if that's okay.
That is 100% okay.
Nothing, Kadiak.
I'm gonna be just like in the crypt all night, just staying there.
All right.
Before leaving, Corbett approaches Anya and just gives her just a light hug. Says, "Don't stay too long." And then he just, "Don't stay too long, and try and take care of yourself too. But take the time you need. So sorry."
Just nod.
And then
Don't say anything.
Corvette leaves. Yeah.
All right. So you all go spend a fitful night. None of you really rest easily with your minds. Waiting.
So, can it be the middle of the night?
Sure. Middle of the night. Yeah. It's the middle of the
Alright.
night.
Poof! Middle of
I-
the night, successfully achieved.
Nice. I'm going to go wander down to the crypt, carrying with me a blanket, and let me double check something real quick. I'm going to use the fact that I'm not blind. Actually, I'm going to go wander into the kitchens and just like grab a chunk of bread and flay it. Like a water's gonna go wander into the crypt, and I'm going to plop it next to Anya and then just sit for a little while. I'm not going to say anything.
Are you asleep at this point, Anya, or
No.
still awake? Okay. Still awake. You notice, of course, Artyom come in and with the equipment and materials that he's brought and leave them next to you.
I'm going to sit there for maybe like an hour-ish. And then I'm going to stand up. And I'm going to turn to walk away and just say, I'm sorry.
I mean, you tried to do something. It's not your fault. I mean, I don't even blame her for what happened.
Well, but you weren't the one who killed her.
No, I don't blame myself either. But it's like I've said before, We're just getting played with by things bigger than ourselves.
Yeah. Our team definitely doesn't know anything about that, that's for sure. That's... Since obviously now is not the time for a religious lecture, I shall return to my...
Don't worry,
sleeping.
Don't worry, I'll give you one later.
Give me one?
Ooh.
I'm gonna lecture you real good.
All right. Okay. So you all go to sleep. Morning comes.
We can, yeah.
Yeah, if you can. Morning comes. And you all roll out of bed at varying times. And make your way, with the exception of Jelania, who probably is still in the crypt, make your way to the...
I leave when the sun comes up. That's when I'll
the
go.
sun comes up. Okay, sounds good. So you make your way to the dining hall for breakfast. And Mitya is there. There is no sign of Vitali. But Mitya is there, and he... as you come in, he waits for everyone to arrive, and he says, Lord Mitya is awake, but he, of course, is still very tired. He will be in his room for the time being, but he does wish to send thanks to each and every one of you as for saving his life. He's decided to reward you from his personal coffers. He's offering you each 500 gold pieces for saving his life and saving the life of the barony. It's a shame that what had to happen happened, but he feels like it's only the beginning of the many ways he would like to thank you.
I appreciate the sentiment. However, I wouldn't find it just to accept any compensation for this act. However, maybe a charitable donation to another cause more deserving of your lord's coin
Do you
would suit.
have a suggestion for such a cause?
Is there UNICEF March of Dimes?
Brainstorming, because Ian didn't know this was gonna happen, but Piotr's not gonna take those coins.
I'm a noble charitable cause.
Give it to Artyom. No, I'm sure that maybe certain staff in the house, the Lord's house, would know of individuals who need birthday presents or a straw mat or something. Patrick. Oh wait, no. You know what? Screw this. I'm gonna meta. Patrick, is Piotr aware of any organizations such as that? I'm not thinking.
You're
there would
aware
be.
that the town was recently just raided.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, good question. Good. Yep.
Charitable organizations weren't really a thing in medieval times.
That's what I'm thinking. So
Didn't
now
really
I'm
have,
trying to like connect synapses.
It was the church.
Anyway.
It was like there was the church.
Oh,
So like you could have it be donated to the church.
and the
No,
church
we're not
could
doing that.
dole
I'm part
out
of the
as
church.
it sees
No,
fit.
no.
No, we're not donating to the church.
I mean, it's
Oh wait, that's right.
it's
crap.
Piotr's money. Let Piotr do what Piotr wants to do with his. Piotr wants to do with it. The rest of you can make your own
No,
decisions.
these are all good questions. I mean, good input. You know what? I will. I will accept it until I find a better place to a better vehicle with which to distribute the money to those who are more in need.
Very well then. Does anyone else have any thoughts on what they'd like done with their money, or do they want it?
Putting it in
As far as Kediak is concerned, would be to refuse a gift for saving someone's life is saying that his life isn't worth the gift that he's giving. So Kediak's taking the money.
Drith is gonna look around at everyone around the table and gonna say, "Everyone, I'm confused. So, does having more money mean I have less money? Because before I was born, I heard a story in our druid colony about when they started using."
Is there anything else that Mitch had to say?
I mean, Luke's talking.
I can't hear Luke, so...
Oh, jeez, am I still quiet?
No, I can hear
we
you
can
fine,
hear
Luke.
you now.
Now,
I hear you.
Clearly,
can
Mike
hear
just
you.
can't hear you.
I can't.
Is Mitya done or?
Yeah, just boom. Slaps the door in Drith's face.
Hold on, Drith. We gotta make sure. Anyway, sorry.
Wait, keep going.
Yeah, because a long time ago, before I was born, a druid colony tried using leaves as currency, with the leaves of different trees being of different values. And all of a sudden, when we decided to do that overnight, everyone had millions and millions of currency. And so by doing that, they all had less money, they told me. I'm confused.
I think the
We
flaw in
don't
that-
use leaves. It's coins, so that's not the same problem, I
So-
assume.
It's,
Okay.
Is he just talking about like inflation?
yeah.
I think the main problem the druids would have suffered there is their ability to just make leaves grow.
Yeah, that also didn't help. Suddenly, plant growth was the most requested spell of any druid.
Just take the money, Drith.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am not going to accept the money. I'm going to give it back because they were saying, if it wasn't last game, it was the game before, how they had spent a ton of their money trying to help out Vitaly with his like health issues, and they were running low on money. So I'm not going to take the money. But I do want to see if I can get new armor. That's all like Katenkov house.
Certainly.
and
By
cool like
giving
that.
away the 500 gold, you're gonna need to buy it.
Certainly.
Maybe we just have it. We've got guards and stuff, you know.
I mean, I could easily get you armor. However, we could make sure that it is fitted appropriately to you and commission it from the local blacksmith. Because it's currently, no offense, the armor's all currently fitted to fit our guards, and you're not the same build as our guards.
Oh, I'm not offended by that at all, no.
Then we will gladly make sure that the we'll gladly make sure that then we will I'll have someone I'll have a servant take your measurements, and we will have the armor get retrofitted for the not retrofitted, oh my gosh, that's a very modern word. We'll get outfitted to fit you, and that should be ready in the next few days.
Yes, just another suggestion. Maybe fire all the servants that you had and get all new ones, because that headmaid was part of the schemes.
It's
We
already
don't know which other ones might be there.
I've already begun a weeding out process, and that, of course, will include me as well. I don't feel worthy of serving my lord anymore after what I let happen, but I figured I would at least prepare for my successor, then let him, so I didn't leave a mess on his plate like there was a mess on my plate when I took over.
Mitya, the world is full of traitors and liars right now. You are neither of those. So that is better than any sort of incompetence that you might feel like you had. You kept him alive for several years when the evil could have struck at any moment. You did a lot. And faithfulness is more important. That's something that you can't buy with money. So please stay.
We'll think on your words, Lady Jelania. We'll think of them. Make no promises either way. For you, Lady Jelania, Lord Mitya has requested that you visit him when you have the time. I believe he has some things that he would like your help
Are you saying
with.
Mitya or Vitali?
Sorry,
Yeah, when
Vitali.
did Mitya become the
Vitali!
Yeah.
Vitali, I'm sorry.
Like, wow.
Just thinking about Mitya.
Boom.
Thinking about Mitya.
You're speaking as him.
Spoiler, they are literally the same.
Oh, they're the same, but I'm just kidding. No. They have Voltroned into
It was
one.
all a dream.
No. Though Lord Vitali has requested your presence. He has some things I believe he would like you to help take care of.
Sorry, who is that to me?
No, that was to Jelania.
Oh.
Sorry, I got distracted. Please say that again.
I was like,
Vitali
usually when
wants
that
you to come
happens, it
see
was
him
me.
when you have a moment. Dang it.
Okay. Cool. I will do
And
that.
as for everyone else, you are free to do as you will. I will be headed into town tomorrow to buy some supplies and things, and so if you desire, you can come with me to the market tomorrow when you'll have someone who can guide you around. But
Thank you very much.
I'd love to accompany you, actually. Thank you, Mitya.
We'll be there.
perfect.
I guess it's a party outing.
All right. So, I'm assuming, Jelania, you want to go see your brother as soon as possible?
Yeah.
All right. So you make your way to your brother's chambers, where you find him. He has very similar. Artyom has bandages wrapped across his eyes, and he kind of perks up as he hears the door open. Who is it?
It's me, V. Are you okay?
Jella, is that you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't see anyone. I'm
I
afraid
go over
that
and sit by him.
he kind of reaches out. Oh man, I wish my camera was working, because then you can see me doing all this. But kind of, he reaches out and feels around, and he eventually puts his hand on one of your arms and moves it down to grab your hands. Oh, Jella, it feels like it's been an eternity since we last spoke. My memories of the past few years are frankly quite hazy. I don't even really remember what happened last night.
You don't remember what happened last night?
No. I mean, Mitya informed me of what went down below our mausoleum and the fate of our sister, but other than that, I'm unaware of what has been going on.
There's been a lot going on. It's part of big and terrible plans, not just local intrigue or jealousy or something like that. It's a lot. And I am going to spend a while to explain to Vitali the general situation. Pretty much most things about Profane Guard, Morpheus.
Vitali is going to just sit and nod. I see. We're living in dark times, are we not?
Yeah, I mean, they never really were bright even growing up, so should we be surprised?
No, I guess we should not. But I need your help. I don't think that I can lead this. I never, one, wanted to lead the barony in the first place. Two, I don't think I can do it very much by myself at this point. Not being able to see doesn't help. So
What are you saying?
I'd like you to help me. I'm not asking you to take over. No,
Oh,
it's
good.
not.
Oh, gosh.
I know that is something that you are not want to do, nor is something that you are prepared for. I just want you to help me with a few tasks to prepare for what is coming. The first thing that I would like you to do is I'd like you to head to Svetla's house. I believe it would be appropriate to, with the death of her husband, to take the possession of those lands and for our family. In fact, I'd like to offer them to you and your friends as a place for you to stay if it is your desire. If it is not, then I'm sure that I can find someone else to get them to, or sell them for money to help with the rebuilding of Cordovan after the raid and things like that. But I would appreciate if you would go to the house and maybe take some of your friends with you to examine it, and I'll send some servants along as well to help. Holy crap! What is that word?
Search and seizure.
Oh yes.
Stop and frisk.
Help catalog is the word I'm thinking of. Help catalog the contents. So that we're aware of what's there. But there's
If it were my preference, I would say to sell off those things. If we're going to be a team, if we're going to be a family, I don't want to live several hours away.
Then certainly you and your
I
friends
want
are
to be
welcome.
on hand.
You and your friends are welcome to stay in the castle as long as you wish, and I will gladly, I will make sure that those things that is taken care of. But we need to catalog everything that is found. Lastly, though, what I'd really like you to do for me, since I will no longer be able to. He reaches behind his pillow, and you see him pull out a child's book. One that he read a lot when he was a young child. Will you read this to me?
Of course, V. Do you want me to do that right now?
If you would.
Okay. And I will, go and cuddle at the head of his bed, just, squished up in the pillows. And read the book.
Yeah. Alright. It's a child's
Ouch.
story.
My heart.
So you take your time in reading it. Everyone else, what would you like to do whilst Jelania is doing these things?
Piotr needs to speak with Kadiak.
Okay. Well, so Piotr, you find Kadiak after your breakfast.
Kadiak, I'd like to have a word with you about the whole situation with Padara and everything.
Of course. I was wondering when she would come up. Can I tell you about her?
I mean, anything you think is necessary. I'm more interested in helping formulate a response to her raids. You seem pretty partial to that idea yourself. So I figured we
Very.
could be of assistance to one another, or I could be assistance to you.
I would much appreciate that. I can't imagine that there will be any people that haven't heard of fact that, or well, that don't know of what we have done here in the past day or two. We won't take kindly to a dwarf, much like Podara, trying to help them or tell them what to do. So you are a head of Mordvir and well spoken as it goes, and if you would be the one to lay what it is that I would wish to do for some of the people, at least those that would trust you on sight more than me.
I think that would be a good idea. I could definitely use some help in formulating a plan to present to people, and yeah, I agree that no offense, my face might be a bit more approachable.
In this town, I would say that is unfortunately true. One day, perhaps, my people will be able to come down into Mordvir without raiding, but come down south and see that there is more than just those border towns and these coastal ones, and a chance to see more of Mordvir than what we hear of in stories. See that you all aren't, dainty and desirous to turn the
Treasure
forest
chesty.
into farms. That as well, yes. He chuckles a little bit and someone gonna cut in. Sorry,
No, I think you're good.
Kadiak will start laying out his plans to Piotr as best he can, just without a map of the city.
When you can easily
Fine.
obtain a map. of the
Yeah,
city.
maybe we should get a map.
Yeah.
Piotr kind of looks at like the ketchup and whatever bottle like representation and says, I think this is great, but I think maybe if we got a map, it would be more true to life, if that makes sense. So Piotr runs off and finds a map and places it down in front of Kadiak. You are not Podara.
No, I'm not.
I'm Artyom, and you're Podara.
Wait. Oh.
So, I'm assuming this conversation is happening, either outside in a common area or in the common area of all of our rooms or whatever. So it's pretty public. Just
Yeah.
So Kadiak isn't trying to hide this at all.
Yeah, and I won't have you sit here and detail every little
Yeah.
thing you want to do. You sent me a pretty detailed list of the defenses you want to put in. I will have taken those into account, but I won't make you sit and detail every little defense.
Why not? It would flesh out everything. Okay, and then Piotr's like, okay, great. So gosh dang, all the words of the characters are swimming in my brain. It's really hard for me to anyway. Patrick, you're not Piotr. I am.
Definitely not Piotr. Definitely not even a player, but I mean I am a player, but not
who are some of the figures in the area that Piotr should seek out to?
I mean, you definitely, from your experience, since in Vinhelm, the main thing you did as a diplomat was help with the coalition against piracy and Norsean raiders like that. You know that the general practice that you get when you go to a new town is first thing you approach the local lord or baron. So that in case you'd want to go approach Vitali and let him know your plans. Then you would approach the local mayor or magistrate, and then you would make sure that the town guard captain was looped in. So that way you'd also, in this case with the size of Cordovan, you'd probably want the dockmaster, whoever's in charge of the docks, looped in. So that way, particularly with some of Kadiak's more explosive ideas, ships aren't getting blown up as they're trying to come
So to
into port.
speak.
No, like literally explosive ideas.
Pun
Did I say
intended.
explosives?
Yeah, you wanted those scuttling things.
He's like, how'd you
Yeah,
know
but you
what
can
was
use-
in my brain?
You can use spikes to scuttle things.
Well, yeah, but at least
Big old sticks just poke holes in the bottom of a boat.
that's fair.
Explosions are more fun, so let's just go with that idea.
There will
I
be
wasn't
there
planning
aren't,
on mining the
like there aren't that many
putting
explosives, but yeah,
minefield in a harbor.
there aren't that many explosive materials. I mean, but definitely, so scuttling, So you'd want to make sure that the dockmaster is looped in, so that way,
To the hazardous
the
natures,
hazardous
of
natures
the
and
planet.
stuff like
Anyway.
that. So,
Yeah.
these, a lot of these things aren't necessarily things you'd want deployed like 100% of the time. You'd only want them deployed if you were expecting a raid to be coming, things like that. But yeah, so those are the people you'd want to make sure that you talk to. In loop.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Is anyone? Nope. Okay,
sorry, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the next thing that Piotr would do, but yeah, if anybody else has something that they want to do to kind of break that up, that's fine. If not, I know where I'm going next.
Yeah,
Artyom
needs
and
to make sure he wants to figure out what sort of efforts are being done to rebuild the city and figure out who's in charge and get contact there so he can help. And with Piotr's help now, start implementing those ideas
Okay. Yeah.
on a
So
big scale.
Mitya would be the one in charge for the most part in helping with the rebuilding of the city, and he will give you more detailed explanation when you go into town tomorrow for shopping. I'll point out some more things.
Luke was saying something.
yeah, so it's right now Drith, Artyom, and Corbett are kind of just still together, right?
Yes.
All right, so Drith is gonna look at Artyom and Corbett, and she's gonna say, "You two are holy, more or less, right?"
No.
No. It was nice of you to say so, though.
Well, at least you have experience with religion and God and all that stuff, right?
I mean, yes.
Artyom, you better
I
have.
have a-
I mean, if you're a priest.
I have a moral question that I've been trying to figure out. Can you help
Moral
me?
question. I can try.
Was Fetla a bad person? What makes a person good or bad? Because I know she wanted to help her family, but she didn't go about it in a way that I would consider good. But who's to say that what I consider good is actually good?
Good and bad is generally defined. All right, well, I guess from a religious point of view, which is a good thing is Anya can't.
Philosophy now.
Good thing that Anya can't hear me. But the religious point of view, yes, she would have been a bad person. However, that comes with many caveats. The way that Svetla went about trying to help her family, i.e., the, destruction of her family, and blinding her brother and attempting to pretty much bring back to life a being that of course it's easy for me to say he's evil. It's easy for me to say Morpheus is evil and is going to destroy the world and change life as we know it and make things less than ideal, to put it nicely, for most people. And so her means to her end were, in my opinion, bad. In her opinion, they were her best option. Now you can look at it in a couple different ways. To try and understand her view better, put yourself in the shoes of someone else trying to help their family who does something that can be considered wrong or bad. Well, perhaps a mother stealing to feed her starving children. Your average. It's easy to sit here and say, oh, that's a noble cause. But then what about the baker who no longer can feed his children because things have been stolen? It's a very complicated question.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It sounded simple coming out of my mouth, but the more you explain it, the more confused I get.
I would say Sveta was confused and made bad choices.
But Anya can still love her, right?
There's nothing stopping anyone from loving anyone. All you have to do is be able to look past their flaws.
Well,
And
I'm just scared because, you know, Anya was so happy when she met her sister again. And, you know, then she kind of turned out to be doing some not so great stuff. What if I meet my dad one day and I don't know how to love him because he's doing something that I don't agree with? And how do I know what's right and what's wrong?
Drith, do you have feelings and morals and opinions on what is right and what is wrong?
Yeah, I do.
And if you were to meet your father and he was doing things that you didn't agree with, that doesn't disqualify him from being worthy of your love. But at the same time, if you meet him and you find that you can't love him as a father or even as a person, there's also nothing wrong with that. The important part, in my opinion, never having had much of a family, is that you make your best efforts, and if that isn't enough or it doesn't change, then at least you know that you tried.
Well, Artyom, I hope you know I look up to you a lot. And so if it turns out when I meet my real dad and he's not great, can I call you my dad?
How about an older brother?
Okay. I've always wanted one of those two.
Then I shall be your older brother.
Okay.
That was real good. Cora's gonna leave it at that, actually. That's good. He's not gonna ruin the moment.
And Rith, part of the process of love, whether it's romantic or familial or friend, is learning. So don't be afraid when you meet your father to try to learn to love him. Because more than likely you have this picture in your head of who he is, and more than likely that's not who he is. But don't be afraid of meeting him anyway.
Okay. Will do. Thank you.
No problem, bro. What?
So what's the deal with nobles? Are we not worthy of love? You just said learn do your best to learn to love. And I agree there's a lot of terrible nobles. But I do know a few that are real good.
I know a couple that are pretty good. However, like I told Drith, if you try your best and you find that you can't come to love someone, there's no point in trying to force them into your life.
I'm fine with that.
Besides,
Someone.
are you
But
expecting
not-
me to love a class of people because someone in the past got appointed to be above me?
No, I'm asking why start with the prejudice against them?
I
Against
didn't start with a
us.
prejudice.
Something happened that from here on out, whenever you meet a noble, there's a prejudice from something.
Remind me what city you're from again.
So I am Ravganmar.
No.
Yep.
Is there a
As I'm
place?
ready today. Ravganmar. It's the
Nice. Is there a place there that you wouldn't go at night or without guards?
yeah.
Why?
You feeling unaccustomed, unaware, unsafe of what's there.
But why? What are you afraid of?
Individuals who'd want to hurt me.
Exactly. Well, and is that just because they're poor and they're smelly and they have a different way of life than you?
No, RTM. You don't know the number of times I've been with the poor, the smelly, the people who are different than me. There are certain places I know that I just don't go because I know it's not safe for me. But should I meet someone anywhere else? Hopefully, I'd give them a try and learn about them before just giving them judgment.
But if you were walking down the street in the slums by yourself at night, and a large man with a big, long, scraggly beard, in tattered clothing, gross teeth, and a large bladed knife on his hip were to step out of an alley in front of you, your initial reaction would be, I'm going to die. Right?
Depends. Yeah. I won't say that wouldn't cross my mind.
You see,
But have I
The
been on my
dangers-
own in those places where us nobles don't belong? Yeah, I've been there. Been there by myself. And as you would know, Tian would not like that. He hated it when I did it.
the dangers in the poorer part of town are generally presented by gangs and knives, swords. But the dangers from nobles are just as real, even if they're more psychological and sometimes legal. It's just one person has gold and one person doesn't.
Yeah. But I don't judge everyone who's wow, poorer than I am. I don't think everyone who's poorer than I am is a bad person.
Corbett, I appreciate your anecdotes from your life, but you can't speak for all nobles that way.
I'm not. But it frustrates the heck out of me when your judgments, you say to do one thing and you're such a hypocrite. You say to let other people to learn to love people, to see first before judging. You just told Drith that. And so something happened. I mean, like, what happened? What was so bad? Yes, there's bad nobles. Yes, people are greedy. People are treat people wrongly. But there's some of us who want to change that. And it's hard to get through to people like you who say to do good and then put up these barriers.
Acceptance comes with time and patience and proof. Whether that's you accepting me, the royal you, not you necessarily. You accepting me as a person, or me accepting you as a person. You and Anya have proven yourselves to me, but it's that learning part. And learning generally involves questioning and observation and study. And so, yes, I have a right and a reason to be hesitant and downright distrustful towards those of the noble class. But again, everyone always has some form of bias. Once your nobles are willing to walk down the streets and see that large, scraggly man with the knife on his hip is just the butcher going home to his 2-year-old daughter and his pregnant wife, then it'll be much easier for those of us who live on the other side to accept. And let's be fair, there's far fewer of you than there are of us. It's much easier to make a change with the few than there is with the many. But making a change with the few can affect.
I think he froze there, team.
And he's gone. Ah, he's back.
We missed the last little bit you said, Adam, because you froze.
It was like the last half sentence.
I said, it's easier to make a change with the few than it is for the many. But making a change with the few can affect the many.
At least in that we agree. And then Corvick gets up and starts walking away. Heading out towards, I'm assuming there's a garden somewhere on the grounds. Need a breath of fresh air.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm gonna follow Corvid out of the garden because we have another discussion to have, but now it's somebody else's turn.
Now I'm gonna.
I need some fresh air.
We do have a whole week. We do have a whole week to have. These
Don't feel like you need to have all these conversations at once.
No, yeah.
But yeah. So, Piotr and Kadiak, at this point, you have made your way towards Vitali's chambers. As Jelania is wrapping up reading the story to him, you hear, Jelania, you hear a knock on the door. Vitali looks at you and says, "Can you go get that, please?"
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll go get the door.
So you open the door and you see your two friends Piotr and Kadiak standing there. And Piotr and
Hey.
Kadiak, you see Jelania.
What do you need?
Hi. I hope we're not disturbing unduly. Kadiak has some plans on how to deal with our friend Podara, and
He's not a friend.
okay, sorry, that was tongue in cheek. Thank you. Forgot the whole cultural.
I understand, but even still, she does not deserve even the mockery of a friend.
Okay.
I appreciate the hatred. That's great. Why do you need Vitaly to look at them? He can't.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I guess. Sorry, go ahead, Kadiak.
Looking for either his or Misha's approval of the plans to go forth and give somewhat of a weight to actually letting us do these things.
I think Mitya is probably the person
imagine
to
we
talk
can-
to right now.
Yeah,
If he needs to come to
is-
Vitaly
is-
for final approval.
Understood. Is
Um,
Misha with you, or is he
No, he's not
elsewhere?
here. I
Yeah,
don't know where he is.
Is Vitaly awake?
Yeah, he's awake.
I don't know. Maybe I agree. We could probably just talk to Mitya. We could find him. I'm sure
Just
he's
want
about
to,
somewhere.
I still
We'll
rule
do that in a second.
in
I
these
want you-
lands. You hear Vitaly voice come from inside the room. I would be grateful if you would come and at least discuss your plans with me.
Oh, yes, Lord Vitali. Forgive us. I didn't mean to impose. I just didn't want to disturb you.
That's would be, better than sitting on my bed all day.
I suppose so. May we enter?
If my sister will allow it.
Okay.
Anya?
I'm not
Thank you.
trying to be a bodyguard. I'm just. It was a rough day yesterday.
It was.
That's all.
We must
I
all
understand.
move
We'll
on.
be quick.
If we just complain about it being a rough day, then we'll get nowhere. We have to continue on and move forward with our lives. The world will continue to spin no matter how much we stand in place. And it will continue to it will spin and take us with it.
It's good to know that we know this world is round now. It's not flat.
Lower dump.
Kadiak will approach Vitaly and gently take Vitaly's hand and place it against Kadiak's forehead. A sign of respect. Lord Vitaly, I'm not sure if you have been made aware, but I am Kadiak, wanderer of the Urdine path. A path that Podara also follows, but in a much, much different fashion.
I have been made aware. I understand you are of the same people as Podara. I, however, do not harbor the same resentment I'm sure many of my people will have. I understand that simply because you come from the same group as someone does not mean you share all their values and all their... And that you are not held... I will not hold you responsible for the things that Podara did to my city.
And I appreciate that. However, I do have some history with Podara, and know of the ways that she attacks, especially coastal cities such as this one. And I would offer my knowledge as a token of peace and to strengthen your city again. And he will go ahead and not detail out, but at least list some of the ideas in broad strokes that he has for the city's defenses, and we can get into that later when they're actually happening. Yada yada yada. Does that sound like something that you would wish for me to put into place for your city?
Certainly, I'd be willing. I'd be happy to discuss that. I would, of course, want Mitya here for that, as we discussed those things.
Of course.
I would. But, as he will be able to better make sure that they are implemented than I can. He kind of motions at his now bandaged face.
Yes. There is one other thing. If I might. I know that you and I follow very different religions and elders. And in the past, I don't know if you have been made aware of this, but one of my elders has blessed me with sight in a way that I was unaware was possible. And if you would, I would ask of her if there is anything that she may do for you. Bring back your sight.
I know of your elders. I know of the tricks and the treacheries that they sometimes pull when offering gifts. I have faith in my goddess. If she wanted me to see, I would see. But...
And I think we already owe a little too much to this particular person. Maybe not getting further into her debt would be a better idea.
I appreciate the offer, but I already owe too much to too many people to want to put myself in debt to a creature of the Fae.
It flinches a little bit at creature of the Fae, but he's very well, I understand. Your elders guide your path. If there is anything that I may do for you or my tribe, please let me know and I shall see what can be done.
Certainly, I will let you know if I can think of anything, but I'm sure the offer of the offer of help in defending my city will be more than sufficient. Now,
That's all Cadillac had for Vitaly, so he's gonna step back and give space for Piotr in case he wanted to talk to him at all.
Okay. First off, Lord Vitaly, I don't know how to express it, but I just wanted to offer you my deepest condolences. I understand. I don't understand, and perhaps never will. But I know, or I can imagine, the place you must be in with all of the events that have coincided as of late. And I am here at your service in any way that I can, I don't want to say serve, help you that you wish. And in particular, I will be working closely with Cadillac to make sure that this realm and anyone in the vicinity is prepared to meet Padara when she returns.
certainly, I appreciate that.
I think we shall let you rest for now. But I will be speaking with some of the advisors and captains around the city with your blessing to try to get things ready.
Certainly. Zhelanya, if you could write up something and mark it with the seal to let people know that these two men are acting with my authority, I would greatly appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah. I'll
Alright.
do that.
Yeah. Piotr takes his leave.
Okay. All right.
If there's anything that anyone
Very
else needs me for, I have not slept since last night, and I still have my sister's blood on my hands. I need to go take a bath. And take a nap.
I can stay and watch over Vitaly if you wish.
I have guards that posted. I have guards. I would actually appreciate a little time alone at this point if my sister cannot accompany me.
I'm sorry, it
Understand.
was really awkward,
I shall-
when we were reading, you couldn't see it, but it was, you might need to get your sheets washed.
I appreciate it.
The blood's not dry. Have you just been like licking?
I'm dirty, I'm sweaty, I'm whatever, it's nasty all over the place.
And with that, we're gonna take a brief 5-minute break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Keep going. So yeah, don't head anywhere. Stick around, watch our cool little videos that we have prepared for you guys to watch in the meantime. Talk to you in a bit. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are ready. Picking up where we left off.
Our
Anya?
DM is dying.
Dying.
COVID.
He's no longer with us. Only here in spirit. Yes. So I'm going to take a bath and stuff and take a little nap. I want to tell one of the servants to wait a couple of hours and then tell Corvette that I want to talk to him in private. He probably should come to my chambers or something.
Okay. Sounds good. So
We're gonna call that the Chamber of Secrets.
The chamber.
So in a few hours, Corvette, you get this message from the servants that Jelania would like to see and speak with you.
I have not been following you for hours.
Just trailing behind him. Wait.
He's checking his sundial every
Hey, listen.
Yes, Navi. All right. I'll be there shortly. Kind of meander a little bit more, and then head on over to Lydia's rooms.
Lydia, who's
Anya's.
that?
Wow!
Lydia's did not
This is
exist.
gonna be a great conversation. I know already. Holy moly! Okay. I
Yeah.
step up, do a little rap at the door. Anya?
I open the door. I just kind of yell over, it's unlocked, you can't come in.
Head on in.
I'm sitting on my couch with my knees up to my chest, and I've got a book, right here. It's a blue bound book, and there's this ivory disc inlaid on the front of it. I've got my little tiefling tail up around my legs, just reading the book. A little distracted because I'm reading a book. Yes.
Anya?
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
Hey. I needed to talk to you about something.
What
You
book
might
are
want
you
to close
reading?
the door.
Oh, okay.
It's something it's something Vitaly gave me a long time ago. There was a time when the only books that I wanted to read were those ones that are, it's kind of an adventure story, but mostly it's about a girl who has to choose between two boys. There's the one that I was reading. There was a werewolf and a vampire, and they were fighting, and I think he gave me this book to save me from that because it was so terrible.
Ah, yes,
It's
I
titled
see.
In the Dark of the Night.
I don't know if I've read that one before. But,
If you want to, it's on my bookshelf. I haven't read it in a very long time because it's not that good. This one is better. He also gave it to me because I wasn't wanting to go to my lessons on the Celestial language, and this is written in Celestial, so
Oh, is it?
he figured it would help. Yes.
That one.
It's and I show the front, and the title is written in Celestial, and it says "Endless." It's I think it was written by some crazy priest or monk or something who lived in the mountains. It's a series of poems between the sun and the moon about how much they love each other, but they're sad they can't be together. Because, you know, it's the sun and the moon.
Oh my.
I haven't read the book in a really long time. I was reading to Vitaly and it reminded me that books exist.
That's awesome. I mean, books, I love. I mean, I read as much as I could with, you know, all of the things I was doing back home, but I actually tried to write before, so that's really cool. Do you mind if I read that when you're done?
What did you write about? What did you write about?
Just stories, adventures, going off to see far off places. I don't know. I mean, more places than do more things than just what I had to do. So, but those are all were all like half works and nothing. Didn't ever write anything magnificent. So.
I mean, I'll admit I never was much of a book person. That was always Vitaly, so. Oh boy.
Well, when you're done with that, may I read it as well?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very long. I'll probably finish it in a couple of days, I think.
Cool. Thank you. Anyway, you wanted to talk to me?
Yes. She kind of shifts on the couch. Gets a lot more serious. So, there is an ability that I and all my family has. My father taught us about it. I've only managed to do it a couple of times. It lets me hear what the people around me are thinking. Don't worry, I'm not doing it right now. I'm not doing it right now. But I was doing it last night when we were talking to Sveta. And you asked her a question. Do you remember that? It was a hectic night, so. Anyway, she did give you an answer, but I thought maybe you should know what she thought about. When you asked her about what she had done to Vitaly and what had been done to you, she remembered casting a spell on Vitaly and sort of taking control of him, and he joined in the massacre of my household. No, you don't have to tell me things. If you had wanted to tell me, you would have done that a long time ago. I just wanted to tell you, because if it were me, I would want to know. And I wanted to say that whatever it was, whatever happened that was made, that you did, it's not your fault. What Vitaly was made to do to my family was not his fault. Fiends, I don't even blame Sveta for what she did. Whatever happened was not your fault. Okay?
Is there room on the couch next to
Yeah.
you? Corvette sinks down as he's hearing what you've described and kind of just bends forward and just like puts his head in his hands. Shaking and Saw what
kind of,
happened to your brother?
like hover my hand over his shoulder for a second and like slowly put my hand down to touch his shoulder.
Saw what happened to your brother?
Yeah.
And you're saying that someone else cast spell on them, on him, to
Yes.
make him do those things. I have never told anyone what happened. Until now, I didn't know if it was spell, or if I just turned into something else. Do you remember? I grew up in Arthmail at the monastery.
Yes.
Those people
I
were like my
remember.
family. The matriarch, Claudia, Bishop, the Christoph, and all of them. And when I went home once and returned, I had said everyone knows that I found them just dead. And that's where I found the mask that I carry of the Profane Guard. But I remember, what I really remember is heading there, and right as I get there, a fuzz, it just felt like a trance, a change. I don't know. It's like all a haze. And when I came out of it, I was standing there with blood covering me. And just I killed them all.
No, you didn't.
By
That was
my
not you.
hands. Until now, I
No.
thought
It was not
But-
you.
I can't even imagine.
That's like saying that Vitaly went and killed his own father. He didn't do that. That's not him. That's not something he would do. That's not something you would do.
After that happened, I looked and researched, and that's when I found the clues about the Profane Guard. I heard rumor about, when I learned about them, I knew I wasn't strong enough. So I went and again found more records, more tales. That led me on a quest and found Eladin. I just want them to pay so badly. Yeah, I don't know what
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said just now.
Sorry. I want them to pay so badly.
Okay.
It's all like
I feel the same. These people took my family and turned it completely inside out. There's nothing that I won't do now to take these people apart bit by bit until they're nothing. And I mean, I know I can't do that by myself. But if you help me, I'll help you. And I assume we'll be able to get the other four to come too. Because, they have, feelings of like honor and goodness and righteousness or whatever. It's not quite so personal. They're just good people. Not that you're not a good person. I'm just talking about me.
Anya. I still don't feel like a good person yet. But you've given me a piece of what I need to heal.
I'm glad I could give you that.
Thank you. And of course, you don't mind that I'm in it for vengeance? I mean, that's not what I'm supposed to do. Represent.
I mean, I don't much care. Because that's what I'm in it for too. So.
Then I shall stand by you. Wherever it takes us. Thank you. Thank you for what you have given me. A little bit of hope.
I hope it's enough for at least the next while.
I imagine if we can be there for each other, I imagine more hope will come.
You're optimistic. That's great.
I try. It sucks sometimes. And then you see Corvett's shoulders just have the biggest just you can see the tension ease. Not that he's completely let go of everything, but you noticeably see this tension just in the whole conversation just lift a bit. Okay. How are you? I know it's
I am
too
surprised
soon.
at it. I am fine enough, I think. I don't blame Svetla for what she did. She was taken advantage of at a bad time by someone who knew exactly what they needed to do to get her on their side. She was always the best of us four. She was always the most kind-hearted, the most understanding. I don't think that changed. I just think that she was lied to. And I'm going to remember her like that. Because if I can get her back, that's the way she'll be.
You are such a kind person, more than you give yourself credit for.
I don't know about that. I did yell at a child a few weeks ago.
None
Something
of
that
us
I
are
do.
perfect.
So probably Drith and Artyom, they're probably the two perfect people. Two most perfect people in the world.
Please tell me he does not. Please tell me you at least get frustrated sometimes. Wait, no, I already know you do. Never mind.
Please tell me you've
Yeah,
at
that
least
Drift
pushed
guy.
him.
Just trying to push him.
That was, yeah. Drith,
the
maybe.
window.
I'll give you that. Drith is pretty darn close to perfection, so. Thank you. Jelania. I think that might have been the first time I said your name ever. Your real name. I like Anya.
Been a while.
Mind if I keep it?
It's fine. It's close enough.
And I'll let you get back to your reading.
I might probably should sleep. I didn't sleep because I was thinking
Yeah.
about what I would say to you, and
didn't
then I
sleep?
was
Have you
reading.
eaten food? Have you eaten food? No? Okay, I'll be right back. What's your favorites?
I don't have favorites. That doesn't exist in my life.
Food? Like, no favorite? What do you at least enjoy eating or drinking or whatever?
I spent
in
3
your-
years eating fish and berries, so
Okay, don't we worry. I'll
at
figure
least
it
just
out.
not that.
I don't know what you guys have up here in the north, but I'll go find something. Like, I'll talk to the chefs because I can't cook worth anything. But,
Okay.
and then you take a nap, and then you sleep. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Enjoy the book. And
All right.
Corbett leaves and heads to the kitchen and just orders whatever is fancy and sounds delectable. Yeah.
Wait,
And then
So
by the
does that
time I
mean
eat it,
you
it's cold because I've been asleep for like an hour or two.
I mean, you just left like the blanket and the water and the food that our team
don't
brought.
know that happened. I don't know that happened.
Just,
I'm
like,
just
left
assuming.
bread to mold.
everybody's just like
This place-
bringing her like offerings of.
Corbett
I was
just.
the only one who brought her.
Yes, you are. And Corbett doesn't know that. So he's just like, I'll get the best, finest wine that's in your cellar or something and bring it to you. Or tea. Tea's probably good for helping you sleep. So let's do that instead. So I don't know. Corbett goes and does that and brings it back. And if you're
It's
awake.
wonderful. I'm not. I'm asleep.
Okay. In that case.
Now Corbett.
I'm
Has
probably asleep until like the next morning.
Corbett's like, And then he's like, leaves it there outside, and he's like, then he goes and takes a couple of whatever's there. Takes like half the cup of tea or something with him.
Sounds good. So the rest of the day passes. And evening comes, and you all go to sleep. Piotr, you dream.
Oh yes.
Okay. So Piotr comes to a pub. And he walks inside, and immediately all of the light inside is gone except for just this eerie glow leading to a staircase leading upstairs. And as he starts to climb the stairs behind him just fade away into nothingness. And at the top of the stairwell stands a woman. And as he approaches, she turns to him and says, "Pyotr?" And then everything fades away. And as they fall into nothingness, Pyotr wakes up in a sweat. And then he just gets up and just starts pacing around the room. And just like kind of like freaking out. And
Is anyone sharing a room
yeah.
with you?
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
You've all been given your own private rooms.
We got a big house. Come on.
But yeah, he's just pacing around. 1 second. And then finally he's just like, he can't go to sleep. He's just kind of torn up. He goes outside to walk the grounds.
All right, so I imagine you probably do that for a half hour or so before eventually finding your ways back to your chambers and going back to sleep, unless there's anything else specific you'd like to do while pacing around.
No, he's just kind of taking in the nature, breathing.
Yep, sounds good.
Getting rid of his panic attack.
All right. So, you all awaken the next morning, you have a quick breakfast, go off to, and go off to go have, eventually you go off towards your market. As everyone knows, as I have expressed to my players, and, people in chat don't know this, I don't like taking very long in market time, particularly on stream. So I have had all my players send me what they want to buy beforehand. Adam, I sent you a message that has a link to the magic item shop. If you would just post that in the player channel real quick so people can go look at what's available in the magic item shop, as I don't like spending too much time just doing the shopping. So I will tell everyone real quick, rapid fire, how much gold they owe for what they want. So, Jelania, you wanted to buy a new sword. The new sword will cost you 2 gold pieces since it is being silvered, not just a regular short sword. Kadiak is not here, and he has the most comprehensive list, which is irritating. Drith, you wanted to buy a chest set. That will cost you 5 silver pieces. You wanted to buy studded leather armor, which will cost you 45 gold pieces. And you wanted to buy Alistair a hat. The hat, if you choose to use common materials, will cost you 5 silver pieces, or if you want to use fine materials, will cost you 1 gold piece for a fine hat. Just let me know which one you choose.
What kind of hat is it? Is it like a beret? Is it a top hat? What kind of hat are we talking
Oh
about?
my gosh, get him a beret.
I gave him a lot of thought, and it's a little Robin Hood hat.
Oh my god!
And the feather
Does it have a
sticking out is
feather?
one of his own feathers.
Oh.
Ouch! Pluck one of his feathers for it.
Well, I guess he
Those
molds.
feathers fall out all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Except he's a magical
Hold still,
owl.
bird.
But
You're gonna like this eventually.
Corvette, you wanted to buy a shield that will cost you 10 gold pieces, and your paper and writing implements you wanted to buy, as well as the fancy colors, will cost you 5 gold pieces. There is the list, if you can find the semi-randomly generated magic items shop in the player channel.
Yeah. I looked. I don't want anything from it.
Can't afford anything.
I mean, you can afford none of the cool stuff. So,
for the audience who is curious, I will just read off what is in it real quick so you can be aware, because I know there are some people who really like to know those things. So we have a hand axe +1, a Keogtum's ointment, several doses of that, potion of greater healing, potions of healing, potion of superior healing, potions of supreme healing, ring mail armor of resistance to lightning, scroll of create bonfire, scroll of crusader's mantle, scroll of cure wounds, scroll of expeditious. That's how you say it. Expeditious retreat. I've never had that. I never had to say that word. Scroll of fireball, scroll of holy aura, scroll of hunger of Hadar, scroll of tiny servant, a silver raven, and slippers of spider climbing are all found in the magic shop in Cordovan.
do have a question actually, because
Yes.
I can't figure out how to make this thing tell me what it does. What does Caton's ointment do?
Teogtum's ointment.
Yeah, that.
I think it's kind of a healing item, if I remember correctly.
It's kind of a healing item. Let me look it up in more, because when it sends me to D&D Beyond, and I refuse to pay twice for my books. So
You can see all of it for free, but
Keogtum's ointment is what it is it contains a certain number of doses of a thick mixture that's faint that you can use, and it help when you apply it or swallow it. It gives you 2d8 plus 2 hit points. It ceases, cures poison and cures disease.
Oh,
That's what it does.
cures disease.
Yeah, so it's a pretty powerful magic item. It's just
Yeah, is
pretty
that
powerful.
worth it, guys?
And it is 120 gold pieces per dose. So you'd literally, if you wanted to get certain more than just one dose, you'd have to, it's 120 gold pieces per dose.
it's more worth it it's more bang for your buck than a healing potion.
Yeah,
Certainly.
because it's just you can use it in a lot
I
of
have
places.
exactly 120 gold pieces.
You could buy one dose.
But I also have a couple of healing potions already.
I'll pass. Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Patrick, for answering my question.
Okay, and
Thanks,
since
Gab.
Mike has returned, I have your price list for how much everything costs. Just let me know when you're ready to start taking that down. So your woodcarver's tools will cost 1 gold piece. Your cartographer's tools cost you 15 gold pieces. Your herbalism kit costs you 5 gold pieces. Your weaver's tools cost you 1 gold piece.
So that's 115.5 so far, right?
Yeah, 1, 15, 5, 1. Your
Enough crap.
the fine clothes, the set of fine clothes costs you 15 gold pieces. And will be 5 silver pieces for the supplies that you were looking for. The craft of things that you want to craft.
Just make sure I got this all right.
You're good.
1 gold, 15 gold, 5 gold, 1 gold, 5 gold.
No, it's 15 gold for the fine clothes.
Okay. So, 1 gold, 1 plus 15 plus 1. Sorry, not 1. 5.
So it'd be 37 gold in total. And 5 silver
37 gold.
pieces.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Great.
I just wanted to give you an individual pricing list in case you didn't have enough, in case you decided you didn't have enough gold and wanted to take something out. But all
Well, I
right,
just
cool.
got 500, so.
All right.
I would want to take Corvette with me, get the fine clothes.
You can do that. Any
I
particular
can help with that.
Any particular conversation you want to have with Corvette while getting the fine clothes, or
Does this make my butt look big?
What we really need is we need to that material just doesn't suit you quite well. It's got some, I don't know. Brayden's just making the crap up. but Corbin would actually know what the crap he's talking about. So now, are we looking for like? Do you want?
Looking a fool.
Do you want like what kind of look are we going for? Like are we looking?
Want to look like a Mordviren and not out like the thorn in a paw as I'm walking down the street.
Wow, we're all really bad examples of that. I'm assuming, like for like a normal, like let's make you look like Piotr a little bit. Like he's probably a little closer what he wears to the normal, average Mordeviren. So
during travel, of course, I'll wear my own, but I figure, you know, when I'm in a Mordeviren city, I should probably dress like a Mordeviren and meeting people's, meeting important people that may not necessarily know or enjoy the fact that I am a Rosean. It would probably be better for me to not be wearing this.
I see. All right, then. In that case, I'm gonna give him some details on like what's the most comfortable while also looking good materials. I don't know if you want like a vest and a coat, or if you just want like a shirt that's slightly, you gotta have a little bit of something nice, whether it's a little bit of lace or I don't know what. But it's like the pants especially that, and if you have like a vest, definitely go with materials that are, I don't know, kind of like Lululemon here in real life. Whatever that is the equivalent there, I'm like, that's the one. It's comfortable to travel in while also looking good. Plus, I mean, there's, if you rip it or anything, they're pretty good at upholding. They say it lasts for a very long time, so who knows? Maybe they'll cut you slack.
I can mend clothes. I just can't make them, so.
All right, perfect. So I help him out with that kind of stuff.
All right.
It was more of a bonding experience, trying for Yak to show a little bit more vulnerability, because he's getting more used to everyone in the party, and he's like, okay,
now
don't have to always be the Mordeviren or like the Norsean raider,
Fair.
Now, when you come back, are you wearing the new clothes, or are you like back in like your hides and stuff, and you've got your clothes all tucked away?
I would be wearing one of the sets of clothes, just the lesser of the two nice clothes.
And my last question
so that
for you,
I could be more Viren looking. Yes, of course.
My last question is, now I know you have your eye patch. Do we want? I do think we should, have a nicer eye patch for those moments when you're meeting with. If there's a moment when we're going to some big wig, and we really want to look good, make you stand out in a good way, not in a way of, oh look, be wary of him.
If I want to stand out, I'll just wear my clothes. Yes. They have fancy eye patches.
We can, use some. We'll make it work. I go between like the clothier, the haberdashery, and the tanner, because I'm sure we need some leather cut in certain ways. So.
Okay, well, a fancy eye patch will cost extra.
I can pay for that. This is my treat for you. You don't have to wear it if you never do. It's all right.
Yeah.
But
300 gold.
it would
Fine.
be along the lines of like 1 or 2 gold, but
$1 million.
no. So
yes, heading back to meet up with the rest of the party, I would be wearing the more street clothes as opposed to the fancy clothes of Mordeviren, and then I'd also be wearing the fancy eye patch. Just because you know what, you got it for me. It's a gift from Corvette, and he thinks that if he thought it was important enough for to buy, then I will be wearing the fancy eye patch.
I am like
Kadia, did you run into some really pretty lady dwarf in town? You decided to impress her.
Are these courting clothes?
I mean, any clothes can be courting clothes if you try hard enough.
if you're hot
And
enough.
that's usually how they become courts and closes if you try hard.
Interesting.
He
No,
looks
no,
good
not
in them.
anyone.
I'm not saying he
wanted-
doesn't. That's exactly
just
my
making-
point.
Okay, good. Corbett's like practically skipping, like just he's I don't know. He's just so happy.
So precious.
So you did.
So cute.
Kadiak is getting used to the clothes still, but he's like, okay, this is new, but he can still swing his maul fine, so he's all right.
And just so you know, the fancy clothes, the material is flexible and lets it breathe easy, so you can still, if we got into a fight with it, it wouldn't hinder you at all.
He would have tested that out in the store. He would have,
Oh, okay.
like the fitting booth. He would have taken his maul in there, done a few practice forms and stuff just to make sure.
Yeah, you're
I
lucky.
need-
The girls' fancy clothes, not so much. It's hard to breathe sometimes.
I was worried that the men would be the same way. That's as far as we know up north. Nothing down here is used for function. It's all form. So, and
The
Corbett
men
was
just choose
telling
to
me that I could
accentuate different
pretend
things.
Yeah, back home, people walk around naked all the time. It's great.
Ultimate function,
other-
kind of.
The other thing
It's very
that,
comfortable.
Yes, the other
I
thing you
learned,
wanted
though,
to
it
do,
doesn't work
Kadiak.
here.
I think Kadak wanted to do was to find a public place, like find like the public forum of the city or the market, and just make it known that he would be there via Piotr or himself, not sure yet. Just make it known that they would be looking for more volunteers to help with rebuilding the city, and especially anyone with carpentry skills or whatever.
Yeah, Piotr would inform you that it would be best to go through the proper channels because you don't want to start a panic that another raid could be coming soon. So he's going to suggest that you stick to talking with the mayor, the dockmaster, and the town guard, and not necessarily posting a public information because he doesn't want because you don't want to create a panic because you create a panic, people start leaving, and then nothing gets done. So the town just ends up if it looks like there's going to be more raids coming, and people leave, then it just leaves the town in a worse spot than it was before. So that's what he's. So that's
This is true. All right.
So
I will not be doing that.
okay. However, Mitya and the mayor will walk around, look. You can take a look at the current defenses, give your suggestions. The fireproofing. You give the dockmaster designs for the scuttling devices that you want, the spiky stuff, and a way to deploy them when they're necessary. Things like that. Before your market day ends, is there anything else that anyone else wanted to do real quick before your market day ends?
You said I got all of the supplies that I wanted for the things that I'm making, and then also just to have a nice stash, right?
Yes. So, all right. You head back to your city. I mean, not your city. Oh my gosh, you head back to the castle to turn in for the night. Does anyone want to seek anyone out before I move on? Artyom, do you want to find Corvette?
You just time to face the music.
Oh boy.
So Corvette,
Yes.
Corvette, as I've imagined, has been spending time out in the gardens to kind of clear his head with all the things that have been coming to him recently. And Artyom, that is where you find him.
As you find Corvette there, he's currently working on. He's writing something on the new supplies paper and with his new inks. He's got a few sheets of paper that he's just scrolling on, scribbling on, sitting on a bench in the gardens.
I'd ask you what you were writing, but I can't read it anyway.
You guys, you'll know soon enough. When they're done, I'll be sharing it with you guys. So
When what are done?
when these are done, you'll get your own. Don't worry.
What are they?
Tell you about them later. I set them aside
Yeah.
and placed blank pieces of paper on them, put them in my pack. Something
You're
to
not
keep
writing a sneaky farewell note, are you?
No. No. Why would I do that?
Why would he do
I
that?
don't know. Well, I'm not a one to beat around the bush.
Fair.
I hear from Violin that you and Branislav are having some issues.
Huh. That's interesting. Kind of interesting that my problems get passed around the heavenly ones.
I mean, there's not very many people who have pretty much direct access to an angel. I almost guarantee you that if you were talking to Branislav, that you would have heard things about me.
Fair enough.
And as you know,
So
it is both my priestly obligation, my obligation as a friend, and my moral obligation to figure out what is muddying the waters. And if I had to guess, it has something to do with your magic stick.
I'm sure Ellen is not happy to hear that, but good one. You might be on the warmer track. What of it?
Well, I've never heard of anybody losing their connection with an angel, with one of the saints before. But I imagine that if you lose your connection with Branislav, then you lose your dragon-touched status? Not that it's really much of a status.
Okay. Beat me to the punch. You know, I'm sick of people thinking I'm special just because I'm dragon touched. Maybe it's not such a bad thing.
It's not such a bad thing to turn away from your divine guidance.
It just frustrates me when divine guidance, they know very well what's going on down here, wherever they be. They know what's going on and don't seem to help.
Corbett,
I feel like sometimes we have to help ourselves.
let me present to you another theoretical. Say that you are in a position where you know everything, you have all power, you can do anything, and you happen to see in your omnipotence, let's take away the omniscience because that kind of changes it. In your omnipotence, you see a boulder being held up by one small stone that's beginning to come loose. And if that stone comes loose, that boulder will roll down and crush a small family. Would you do it? Would you fix that stone?
If possible. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say that you fix the stone and the boulder rolls a different direction. But now this boulder has landed in a stream. And that stream begins to back up. And then it floods that family's village. And their crops die. The old get sick as mosquitoes take hold in the puddles in the stagnant water. Wouldn't it have been better for that one poor family to go than for the whole village?
You just never know, I guess, what's gonna happen.
And I think that's where Violen and Bronislav and all of the others are at. They know, but they also know the consequences of telling us everything and interfering. I'm going to let you in on a secret.
Goody.
I just
All
saw
right.
Lydia's face. I'm trying to laugh.
Sorry. It's just not often that our town tells secrets.
I know. He's like, okay.
I spoke with
wow.
Violen.
Sure sounds like you have. Have made that one clear.
Do you want to know the secret or not?
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I'm sorry.
We're all
Yes. What's up?
we are all fundamentally connected from even before we existed on this mortal coil. And we are necessary in order to prevent what is happening or fight back against what's happening with those who are trying to bring back Morpheus. Knowing Anya's opinion on religion and being meddled with by powers greater than she is, and Kadiark's complete and opposite, and I guess not opposite, completely different faith, and then Drith's lack of understanding, I haven't mentioned it to anyone. That way, you know that I'm not just... And I hid the dome away from all of you for good reason, okay? I didn't know that I could trust all of you.
Fine. That's. Yeah.
I guess
Yes.
my point in sharing this particular tidbit is Violen could only tell me so much. However, I wonder if there's anything that Bronislav could have told you that would help us. What is Eladin? And when you had the power of of a saint, I keep saying angel, that kind of angel, why did you go for whatever this item is?
Bronislav wasn't there when I needed him most. He wasn't there when my adopted family died or killed. Like, how could he let that happen?
Why did Solana let Anya's family die?
don't know.
It comes back to the boulder.
I don't know. But I felt like I couldn't do anything to stop it. And when I found out what that mask that I carry around is, who it belonged to, I thought that I needed more. And that's why I searched for Eladin. That's how I found him.
What is it? What is Eladin?
Sentient creature of some sort.
I won't
But he
tell
has
you how to
helped
live.
me.
I won't tell you how to live. But I'll just echo the warning that Vylan gave me. It's coming in between you and your connection with your saint, which means it's getting in the way of your connection with Silhana, which, since apparently we are doomed to fight their battles, could be a problem for everyone else. If you can get a hold of this and balance the two, then I support you. But if you want my advice, it'd be reach out back to Saint Branislav. You know what I find is very effective in getting Vylan to talk to me? I go out into the middle of the woods and I just start yelling at him. He doesn't really
Oh, the
appreciate
things I would love to yell at Bronislav. Alright, I kind of... Maybe I haven't yelled him. So maybe that's what I need to do to get through to him to make him actually help.
I treat Vylan like a person. Kind of an obnoxious older brother. Maybe you should talk with him and consider seeing if there's some alternative to this sentient weapon. Because really, a weapon more than likely made by the hands of a mortal versus
Well,
the power of a saint.
not exactly.
It wasn't made by a mortal.
How mortal is Maeve?
Not mortal at all.
My point saying. I do know Eladin was not made by a mortal.
So, if it wasn't from Silhana, then that leaves only a few powerful forces it could have come from. Either way, speak with Branislav. I'm certain that he'd be listening. And I'm going to turn and get ready to walk away. And I'm going to pause and look over my shoulder, and I'm going to say, and Corvette, Vylan wasn't there when I needed him most. When my mother was killed. By nobles. And I'm going to walk away.
Mic drop.
Anything
Cora
else?
sits there for a while and just kind of shakes his head slowly and then pulls out his papers again to try and process everything while doing something else.
I want to find Anya.
Oh, Anya's most likely going to be in her rooms. So yeah, you head that way and give a knock on her door.
It's unlocked. Just walk in.
It's dangerous for a blind man to just walk into a room he's never been in before.
Oh my. Okay. I'll go answer the door.
Hail and well met, oh grouchy one.
Oh my gosh, Artyom, what?
Would you accompany me to see your brother?
Okay. Is everything okay?
I figured I'd give him a little bit of time for everyone to offer their condolences and be all in his space and overprotective. And now that a couple days have passed, I would like to go check on him again.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pause when we get to the door, and I'm gonna look at Anya and say, "Just open it and be very cool. Don't say anything, no matter how much you want to." Okay.
Why?
I want to help him become accustomed to no longer being reliant on his sight. And I want to see if I can help him recognize that you're there and he's not alone without you telling.
I don't understand why I need to sneak to do that. I'm never going to sneak up on him.
This is for him and not for you. For him to gain confidence in his other senses. And to learn that just because he can't see doesn't mean he can't still be observant and present and powerful.
Okay. And I'll open the door as quietly as I can.
Give me a stealth check.
Okay. Not wearing my awful armor now, so it's not as bad. That's a dirty 20.
Okay. All right. He does not notice the door open.
Okay. Now I'm going to knock on the door.
Come in.
Your lordship, Baron. What do you call a baron? Your grace.
Your lordship.
He's a boyar. Or
No, he's a
yeah.
baron.
What? Oh, okay.
It is I, Artyom. I've come to check on you.
Oh. Certainly I was getting ready for bed, but if you think now is a good time, then I guess that would be fine.
I'm gonna.
Oh, I'm here too, V.
Ah. Shalanya. Of course. You...
Oh, wait. Was I supposed to be quiet? Shoot.
Excellent.
Mission failed.
Please come in, both of you. As long as you're not expecting me to strip out of my clothes. I've had healers do that to me before. Didn't examine, but then both of you come in, please.
No,
you'll do-
I can. Do you need me here, Artyom? Do you want me to go? Me personally, I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. My memory is that of a fish.
Retcon that. Retcon that she said anything.
I'm just gonna do a basic normal checkup. Oh, you're good to go. Still can't see.
I'm so sorry.
He's like got the light in his hand. He's like, oh, nope. Still no eyeballs.
Nope, you're fine. I'll be back in a couple of days.
Oh boy.
You would follow me, please, and let the Baron get some rest.
Sir, I thought, he didn't hear the door open. I thought that was what you were trying to do. Didn't pass the test. Apparently, he can't. Okay.
All right.
Why do you not? We're gonna, as I've asked you to follow me. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Okay, as we've closed the door and walking out. Why do you not trust me?
Several reasons.
Well, maybe if you start naming them,
Maybe if you start naming some reasons too.
I trust you.
Okay, sure. Okay, no. Stop. I'm trying to be nicer to you. I'm trying. I need to practice. Let me take a deep breath.
The best way to practice is with me right here.
Yes. Give me a second to reset. Remind myself what you did for me last couple days. Okay.
We'll try again at some point. But
Okay.
Lydia totally forgot. Now I'm gonna play into it.
Totally forgetting. Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
But go ahead.
No, go. You start.
I was going to go on to something extremely different, so make your statement before I do that.
I want to help your brother
Mm-hmm.
because it took me a long time to even be willing to open my eyes behind my blindfold. And so while I may not be blind, I did spend several years without seeing. Back when I was telling you things, like you pick up on sounds and scents and just how things feel, that wasn't a lie. That was 100% truth. And I know that from many people that I have helped that have lost limbs or have broken their backs and can no longer move or lost their eyes in knife fights with other gangs, that it can be absolutely devastating. One of the things that I was taught by the man who raised me was that you can always help others find strength, even with glaring and obvious weaknesses, and you can take that weakness and turn it into a strength. I know you wanted to defend Vitali, but I was not out to get Vitali. And I'm not out to get you.
I know. Just, there's some things that you do and say that put up my defenses.
Like what?
Well, The old woman that I spent the last 3 years with, who did so much damage to me, she would sometimes talk about nobles the way you do. Talk about, the things that they do that are so awful and how they deserve to be jailed or have their lands taken away. It was something she would say to me when she would, so nicely try and heal me after something terrible happened and I got so injured. So, remember, it's not like you were worth anything before. So, I can't imagine that she was, an evil person for her whole life, a terrible person for her whole life, in the same way that I don't think Sveta is a bad person. But her disgust of certain things twisted her and turned her against her own better judgment. And I really don't want that to happen to you, so...
You can become bitter, or you can become better.
I'm sure that Sveta thought she was being better too.
I agree.
That's what she was saying. Artyom, I don't think you're a bad person. I think you are a better person than probably anyone that I know. Except for maybe Drek, because he's amazing. But I don't want you to hold on to a blind spot like that. I'm not saying, go love all the nobles. They're so great. Just, I worry how much you dwell on it or hate about it.
Drith asked me.
You want to give us advice? I will give it right back.
Drith asked me how you can love your sister even after what happened, and if she was a bad person. And I told him she may have done bad things, but just like you said, in her mind, she was doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
That love can be given even when people make poor choices. I have my reasons to hate nobles just as much as you have your reasons to hate the profane guard.
To hate my sister?
Do you hate your sister?
Oh. That's
Well,
what I mean.
But you hate the entity that drove her to madness, in my opinion.
That knowingly decided to ruin my family and my life.
I hate the entity that knowingly decided to ruin my family and my life. I had a mother. The keyword being had. Up until she drew the attention of a tremendously powerful noble. And my mother was a lowest caste of commoner that you can get. And I would say that I'm doing okay in the trying to be better department. Bitter? Yes. Very. But all I can do is keep trying.
So why do you pass that anger on to all nobles instead of just that one?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would, but I won't ask you to tell me.
That is definitely a tale for another time. I want you to trust me. And I would like to prove it to you by trying to help your brother regain his confidence of proving to him that he can still be a strong Baron. After years of him being virtually poisoned, I'm certain that he has no confidence and no strength left. And I am not a miracle worker, but I can certainly try. But I can't do it without your help. Because one of the easiest things to recognize is someone you love.
I don't know how I will ever be able to repay you for what you did to let me say goodbye to my sister. And for trying, even though it didn't work. I am not perfect. I have a lot of trouble trusting people. Any people. But I will try. If you will try.
Well, I trust you and Corvid if that's what you're asking. Your brother seems good
not
enough.
Piotr?
Yeah,
Not Kadiak?
Piotr's not really a noble.
Oh, okay. I see.
You don't owe me anything for trying to save your sister. So don't think you ever have to repay me. Just, I guess, if you really want to repay me, let's warm up that cold heart of yours just a little bit. Because I know deep down inside, there's a little tiny flame left over. I saw it when you interacted with your sister. And I saw it when you interact with your brother. There's still love and compassion and kindness still deep down inside. But I don't think it's as deep as you do, as you think it is.
Wow, you really know how to talk to a lady, don't you?
I mean, I don't know. Am I talking to one right now?
I've never thought I was anything other, so never mind. I don't take kindly to being fixed.
I'm not trying to fix you.
That's okay. Sounded like what you were saying.
No. No. What I'm trying to do is show you what's already there. There's nothing that needs to be fixed.
Well, thank you for believing in me, I guess.
You're welcome. Now, hey, what time is it, Patrick?
Nighttime.
I know you're safe in your own house, but a gentleman walks a lady back to her home.
Mission accomplished?
I meant I was just going to walk you back to your room.
Oh.
You're
Okay. No, I
I imagine
just
this
kind of
was taking
walking
place
around.
in the hallway, yeah.
Yeah.
While we were walking.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Alright. So you walk back to the room and drop Shalanya off there. So the next few days will progress, doing the thing that you've stated you wanted to do, helping, so Jelania, your main thing that you do over the next 2 or 3 days is going to the Svetla's house and making sure that, and cataloging everything that was there. You probably take a few of your companions with you. You catalog everything that was there, and you make sure that way it can be ready to be sold. See if there's anything that you want to keep, things like that. Piotr and Kadiak, your primary task over the next few days is preparing the defenses of Cordovan for attack against any future raids. And a particular thing that you came to be quite proud of is you designed a kind of Cordovan has a lighthouse, obviously, as most of the cities do, to help guide boats. And you designed, on the lighthouse, you instructed that, the dockmaster, that whoever's in the lighthouse needs to be on guard, watching for the arrival of any Norsean longships. And to help facilitate the early warning system that you wanted to design, you designed kind of a Paul Revere-esque system of lanterns in the lighthouse that are only lit if there is Norsean, if there's been Norsean longships spotted, or Norsean raiders spotted. 1 by land, 2 if by sea. By the end of the week,
America.
At the end of the week, those lanterns have seen their first usage, and that's where we're going to end our session today.
Oh boy.
No.
Red alert! All hands to battle stations.
But thanks everyone for coming out and watching Ready to Roll. We'll be back again in 2 weeks. So that would be March, blah, blah, blah. What is that date? 24th. And so we'll be back same time, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We will be in we'll be a mixture of our new homebrew hall and here. And so that way we can, that way we're making the transition slowly. If you have not joined the Homebrew Hall Discord, there is a link in Lydia's channel, Lydia's Discord channel. There's also a link in my Discord channel. Come join us there. That's where all, in a few weeks, there will no longer be any tabletop RPG. I mean, I will continue to announce Ready to Roll and stuff like that, but there won't really be any tabletop RPG activity on the Duck Pond Discord.
I'm going to drop a link to the Homebrew Discord into chat right now.
So if you look in chat, join the Homebrew Hall Discord, and look forward to the great, awesome stuff we have coming. There will be things like one-shots, mini-campaigns, painting streams, dungeon mastering discussion, and videos and things like that. It's cool. I will have my regular gaming streams continuing on this channel, so we'll be back on Friday and Saturday it is the Dark Age of Camelot Catching Up in Caledonia week event, so we will be doing Dark Age of Camelot this week. Is there anything else that should be said? Cool. All right, that's it. Then thanks everyone for coming out. We will talk with you all in a few weeks. Bye, guys.
See ya. Bye.